Hi everyone, it's me again and my friend the elf. Now, once you've been honest about how the guilt for putting yourself first shows up in your life and made the conscious decision to choose a different path, there are a number of strategies that can help you here. And I'm going to go through them quickly, but I'm happy to talk more about them in the future if that's useful and if you're interested. Now, strategy number one is challenging your assumptions. And essentially that means talking back to the guilt. I do that a lot with my clients because very often we make assumptions or we have certain thoughts that are based on these assumptions without really thinking through that foundation. For example, when feeling guilty about taking time off, this would look like asking yourself, is this thought, is this belief based on a fact or is it based on an assumption? And is it helpful for me? Strategy number two, practicing self-compassion. That's a really tough one for most of us. But when you notice the guilt, this looks like asking yourself, would I be talking like this to a good friend of mine in a similar situation? And this is especially powerful with our ever-present inner critic, at least it is for me. And if nothing else, it shows us how much worse we talk to ourselves than we talk to others, which I find powerful. Strategy number three is acknowledging the real impact on others of prioritizing yourself, your well-being. And by that, I mean, think of it in terms of what's the behavior you're modeling. What are you giving permission to others to do? Is it to acknowledge and value their needs, or is it to sacrifice their needs for others? And also think in terms of the quality of your presence. When you nurture your soul, how do you show up in your relationships? How do you show up at work, at home, in the world? Strategy number four is set boundaries progressively. So start small, start with small steps, like, start saying no to little things. Don't start off with something massive because that's bound to be intimidating and it's going to be really hard for you to maintain the boundary, and then you're going to feel like you failed. So why don't we start with little things and gradually build the confidence and build the momentum, and also build the sense and the understanding that saying no doesn't make you selfish and it doesn't make you irresponsible either. And strategy number five is seeking and accepting support. And that also is a tough one for a lot of us. But deciding that struggle doesn't make you stronger, it doesn't make you more impressive, more inspiring, more admirable, whatever you want to say here. Is part of that, as is delegating and accepting that it's okay to get help and to feel less overwhelmed. Now, as you may imagine, each one of these strategies, each one of these steps is its own process. And for example, when I work with my clients on challenging assumptions, the first strategy, we go very deep into their conscious and especially the less obvious unconscious beliefs, their blind spots, right? We articulate them, we recognize how they show up in their lives, we ask whether they serve them or not in the present, then we challenge them, then we choose more empowering beliefs that they can replace them with. And then they start the work of actually practicing those new empowering beliefs, because you may have them in your mind, but that doesn't mean you're going to be choosing them every time you have a negative, a limiting belief. So that's the process. That takes time, it takes commitment, but it also takes guidance and accountability. And because these are blind spots, it means it's very hard for us to process. It's a process most of us cannot go through on our own. So even we coaches have our own coaches to help us with that. Now, I'll see you tomorrow for the last video in this series on mastering our well-being. And in the meantime, take care. Bye for now.